What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Just a quick word right quick before we get into the damn video. Look, I apologize for yesterday, the other day, when my audio was bad. I'm not sure what's going on. I think I may have to get a new microphone because I had some trouble this afternoon, as a matter of fact. And to be honest with you, I don't know if my microphone is recording me right now. That's kind of scary, if you will, and it really aggravates me till no end, because when I click record, there's a little thing on there that pops up that says using USB microphone recording or whatever. And so it let me know, but it let me know that yesterday, and it did not record using the microphone. So if my audio is bad, I apologize, y'all. There's nothing I can do about it right now. I'm going to get a new microphone here pretty soon anyway. I wanted to kind of upgrade, if you will, so we'll be doing that. So, you know, if my audio is bad, I do apologize. There's not much I can do about it. But enough of that BS, right? You know, smash that like button, by the way. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. Check this out, y'all. Trump says he now believes Ukraine can win back all territory lost to Russia with NATO's help. Hang on just a second. You know what that kind of signals to me? And the corporate press, yeah, maybe they pushed me in that direction after I read this news article, but that doesn't bode well. I don't like this at all. I do not want U.S. intervention in this war. Now, look, I understand where Trump's head is at on this. He made a campaign promise he was going to end this war, right? And he has done just about everything he can do to end this war. And so far, nothing has worked. Putin even openly admitted, that if Trump would have been president, if he would have got elected in 2020, Russia would not have invaded. Not at least in 2022. That's fascinating to me. That says a lot about the leadership of this country and the lack of leadership we experienced under the Biden administration. It was just incompetence. There was nobody home, and everything was being run by the deep state. Kind of sad, if you will. It's shocking, a lot of what went on, folks. As a matter of fact, if you want to be shocked, go to my video archive and go back a year and a half. And any video that has Biden on the thumbnail, boom, click on it. You'll be shocked. I can guarantee you of that. You will be shocked at what's going on. Doesn't matter what news story it was. Doesn't matter what the Biden administration did. It was always something that was beyond the pale. He crossed the line. Did something he shouldn't have been doing. It was just video after video after video of that. But I don't like where this is going. I know. Tangent. Sorry. I don't like where this is going. I don't want U.S. intervention, but that sounds like Donald Trump is kind of prepping us for that, if you will. Check this out, y'all. President Donald Trump said Tuesday that Ukraine can win back all territory lost to Russia, a dramatic shift from the U.S. leaders' call on Kyiv to make concessions to end the war. Trump offered his position in a social media posting soon after meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly gathering of world leaders. Trump wrote, in part, "I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form, with time, patience, and the financial support of Europe and, in particular, NATO. The original borders from where this war started is very much an option." Now, he's not talking about Crimea. Obviously, he thinks that they're never going to get Crimea back, and I think just about every military expert in the world agrees with that. Yeah, personally, I don't think that Ukraine's going to get back the Donetsk and Luhansk region. I really don't. I don't think that NATO even has the resources to do this. Not without United States help, because NATO pretty much is the U.S., right? Like, sure, the European Union, they've got a lot of soldiers, they've got a lot of tanks and jets, but yeah, individually, they're all split up. That would be tantamount, essentially, to as if they sent the damn states, all of our states were separate armies, just pretty much sent the state National Guards out. That's kind of what that would be like, you know, going up against Russia. Of course, Russia has proved itself to be a paper tiger, as a matter of fact. This is why none of that whole, El Conquistador Putin nonsense ever made any sense to me, because, oh, you want to tell me that, oh, Putin's going to roll into Poland next, and then Germany, and then France? Like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh, he wants to reunify the old SSR, the USSR, sorry. He wants to reunify the old Soviet states. No, I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Lithuania, Albania, none of them are going to capitulate to Putin. They're part of NATO. That will trigger Article 5. The United States would have to get involved. Like, none of that made any sense. It's all fear-mongering, folks. But now with this new shift, dramatic shift, according to the corporate press, in Trump, I don't think his position has really changed. I don't think he's thinking boots on the ground type of stuff. But I really don't want to fund that war anymore. Like, I understand Trump has pretty much exhausted all avenues of peace. Putin clearly doesn't want peace. Clearly doesn't want peace at this point. So I don't know what else to do. It's not really our fight at all. I think Europe has a lot more to do with this. I understand it's on their borders. However, they still technically don't have anything to do with this. They have to worry about their security, but once again, Russia is still contained by Ukraine because the way the borders are working, the way everything's working out. Like, Russia, they're not going to go any further past where they're at now. I don't believe they have the drive to do so. But, it is what it is. Let's keep going. There's a little bit of misinformation in this thing. The strengthened support from Trump, if it sticks, is a huge win for Zelensky, who has urged the American president to keep up the pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin to end his brutal war. However, the post did not include language about new U.S. sanctions or tariffs targeting Russia's energy sector, although Trump has discussed both, including with European leaders, and neither did the post discuss fresh direct U.S. arms sales to Ukraine, instead suggesting that NATO members would continue to buy American weaponry and then transfer it to Ukraine. Well, you know what that's intent to do right here? If you did not watch Trump speak at the UN, that was intent to make you think that Trump does not have any plans at all of issuing sanctions or tariffs on Russia. So, once again, the corporate press is lying to you.
India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures. I mean, you're much closer to this. We have an ocean in between. You're right there. And Europe has to step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia. It's embarrassing to them, and it was very embarrassing to them when I found out about it, I can tell you that. They have to immediately cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time. So I'm ready to discuss this. We're going to discuss it today with the European nations, all gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak about it, but that's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth.
They could have mentioned that. They could have said, he mentioned this at the UN speech. But they didn't. No, they tried to make you believe that Donald Trump has no plans whatsoever of issuing any sanctions or tariffs on Russia. As a matter of fact, he's discussed it several times of issuing secondary tariffs and secondary sanctions on any countries buying energy from Russia. It really is stupid that these countries are still purchasing oil from Russia, fueling the war machine. If these people did not like war and did not like the war in Ukraine specifically, they would stop outright buying oil from Russia. They would buy it from us or Venezuela, somewhere else. They would buy it somewhere else. We have lots and lots and lots of oil, and Trump is currently ramping up production. We've got two, count it, two LNG facilities being built just south of here. About 30-minute drive, about 30 miles or so, 25, 30 miles away. Yeah, two of them. And there's already two down there that were just built right before, during the last Trump administration, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, he's ramping up LNG, as a matter of fact. Oil production, all of that. So, come one, come all. We'll ship the oil over there. As a matter of fact, we can produce that oil and natural gas much cleaner than anybody else. But yet these climate zealots, they want to shut all that down, folks. They want to destroy the world's economy. They want to destroy modern society as we see it, as we know it. That's what the climate zealots want to do by shutting down the oil industry, because that's what will happen if you shut down the oil industry. But let's keep going. Trump, going back to his 2024 campaign, insisted that he would quickly end the war, and he's frequently suggested that U.S. interests in the outcome were limited. Yeah, he's right about that. We have no vested interest whatsoever in that war or the outcome. Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win, Trump wrote. This is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger. In his meeting with Trump, Zelensky was seeking additional U.S. help in defending his country from Russia's onslaught of missiles, drones, and bombs. The two presidents, who have had strained ties in previous sit-downs, greeted each other warmly. We have great respect for the fight that Ukraine is putting up, Trump told Zelensky, who replied that he had good news from the battlefield. We will speak of how to finish the war and security guarantees, Zelensky said, thanking the U.S. leader for the meeting and for his personal efforts to stop this war. As the fighting rages on, Trump said the biggest progress toward ending the conflict is that the Russian economy is terrible right now. Zelensky said Ukraine agreed with Trump's call for European nations to further halt imports of Russian oil and natural gas. As a matter of fact, yeah, he addressed all that in that clip. Trump says the war was supposed to be a quick little skirmish. In his speech to the General Assembly earlier Tuesday, Trump said the war in Ukraine was making Russia look bad because it was supposed to be a quick little skirmish. It shows you what leadership is, what bad leadership can do to a country, he said. The only question now is how many lives will needlessly be lost on both sides. Peace efforts set in motion by Trump since he returned to office in January appear to have stalled. Trump's Alaska summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin and a White House meeting with Zelensky and key European leaders took place more than a month ago, but the war has continued unabated. That is right, folks. Trump said they made good progress. Clearly, Putin lied on that. And I think Trump's pissed about that. I would be too, to be honest with you. Following those meetings, Trump announced that he was arranging for direct talks between Putin and Zelensky. But Putin hasn't shown any interest in meeting with Zelensky, and Moscow has only intensified its bombardment of Ukraine. That is right, folks. And that's all of that. You know, I really don't want to get involved with this. I dislike war, but that seems to be the angle that we're going at here. Like, I don't know what else can be done. What other avenue can Trump go down to try to end this war? He's already tried time and time and time again. Ever since he got back into office, he's been trying since day one to get Putin on the phone, to talk to him. Let's discuss peace. Obviously, Putin has some sort of commitment that he just does not want to let go. There's something holding Putin onto this. He does not want to give up that land. And I think I've been saying that from the beginning, like I think that Putin just wants that land bridge. He wants that access to the Black Sea. And now that he's got it, he's not going to let it go. He's not going to go any further. He's proven that. He's proven he does not want to go any further. So to all you people out there that was arguing with me back in 2023 and 2024 about Putin's ideals for conquest and reunifying the old Soviet Union, I hate to say, look, it really doesn't look like that's the case anymore. It really looks like he just wants that land bridge to have access to the Black Sea. I mean, they have their port in Sevastopol in Crimea, and that was pretty much cut off. It was another oblast, if you will, kind of like Kaliningrad is. Kaliningrad is cut off from Russia's mainland, if you will. So it's hard to get supplies and all that. You got to fly through other nations' airspace or go around through international waters to get to it. So it's just a hassle. And hey, I'm not saying that's justification at all for Putin to invade. It's not. Absolutely not. And I think that at some point, Putin should have to answer for his crimes of invading Ukraine for no good reason, as a matter of fact, and taking a lot of lives for no good reason. I think he should be deposed, taken out of office, and thrown in jail. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's a scumbag for doing what he did. Before Crimea, you've got other places too where he's done this. He's been doing this for years, just a little bit at a time, just enough to where boots on the ground from the U.S. won't be a thing. Essentially, it's like he rides that line, and I don't really care for that all that much. But there's not really much we can do about it. It doesn't really affect the U.S., so it kind of is what it is. What can we do? We're on the other side of the world, for goodness sakes. But I think I've rambled on for long enough. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. I think that's all I got. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. And if you could, click that join button. Sign up and become a member. That's the best way to help this channel out. And I need y'all's help, y'all, tremendously. I really need y'all's help on this. So y'all do all that for me. And y'all remember that God is always with us. And he loves each and every one of you out there. So y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.